Hello and welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 2013 Let's Play on the Newbie Farm. Finally got the sign back in the picture there. So, as I mentioned last time, I said I'd come back when the field's ready to be, or the grass is ready to be cut. And here we have, the grass is ready to be cut. I double checked to make sure it was fully grown, and apparently it is. It's ready to be harvested, so I thought it was going to take a bit longer. Well, it took a while still, but I thought it was going to be I thought the grass would be a bit longer, but I guess it's not, so. Maybe if it matures, it would look different, but I guess not. Before I start, I'm just going to go and grab the eggs before I forget about it. There's 43 eggs, and that's in the red zone, so I better pick them up before I forget. What I was thinking is I will probably start keeping one field canola from now on, and then one field I will rotate to something else. And the only reason I'm going to keep canola is because it's worth the most, and I still don't have enough for something else. Well, I mean, for sunflowers, essentially. I want to try sunflowers as well. But I don't have a combine that can do sunflowers, unfortunately. So, oh, I better put some eggs. So this is what happens. So now, this is my incubator. It's empty, so I walk up to it, put some eggs into it, and then next time, well, after, how long is it? I think it's a couple days. So 3 days, I'll have another 8 eggs, another 8 chickens, I guess it is. I'm gonna go in here, pick up the eggs. This is the convenience factor of the chicken coop. You walk in, grab, walk out, and that's it. You don't have to go all over the place, which is kind of nice. I got my forage wagon here ready to go, and I have my Massey Ferguson ready to go as well. So, what I will do is start this tractor up here, and I've already lowered it. Or I just did a little tiny test strip just to make sure, and it works, which is good. So, I'm gonna turn this sucker on. As you can see, I'll lift it up so you can see actually. Pretty cool, eh? It looks like it's belt driven. So there's a little belt. Now that you can't see it, there's a little belt there that drives the motor that moves the teeth back and forth. So let's do, I think I can actually go second gear. Yeah, second gear apparently. Third gear. Wow, apparently I can go pretty fast cutting. No, not quite that fast apparently. So here we are. We're cutting the grass here. I just chose a sickle bar more because it is cheap. If I picked up like a mower conditioner, or if I picked up something else, it would have been a little bit more expensive. Didn't want to do that. Wanted to try and keep it as cheap as possible because this is on hard, and the more money we can save by doing stuff like this, the better. Unfortunately, I don't think the traditional windrowers actually work, or I guess the ones that, some of them, we'll put it this way, some of them only work with hay. Some of them work with hay. Oh, there's a little part that's not ready. Some of them work with hay and regular grass, but I don't know why that's the case. It's kind of a strange thing. So, but yeah, some of the windrowers only work with hay and not with grass. Don't know why. So right now, this is a not dry hay. Let's say that it would be wet hay. So in this case, what you could do is, with a sickle bar mower, you probably just bale it eventually. But if you're using a mower conditioner, what you could do, I guess, would be to use a forage, not a forage, I guess a forage harvester, not forage wagon. You use a forage harvester, and then you make it straight into haylage, if I remember correctly. I actually talked to a farmer a while back. I mentioned this in another episode. I talked to him yesterday and recorded a YouTube video with him talking about haylage and baleage and silage a little bit. So if you're interested, you can check that out on the channel as well. Pretty interesting. Real life farming, not farming simulator farming, so it's kind of cool to see how they compare. In this game, you can get a bale wrapper, but I don't think it actually changes it into silage in this game at all. I think it just, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll drive, lift this up, and I'll drive it the other way around so it's easier, so I can stay in cab. and then I'll just keep my tires on the outside. Yeah, you can get a bale wrapper. Lower that down there. You can get a bale wrapper, but I don't think it changes into silage like I was saying. I don't know why, because it would make sense if it did, but I don't think it does. Although I know it does wrap it, but I don't know if it does anything past that. I don't know if you can put it, like, you know how you can get the mixing station and put it in the individual sections. I don't think it goes in the silage section, so kind of sad. Wow, this thing goes through gas quickly. Yeah, so this is an old school sickle bar mower. Probably wouldn't use it very often these days. Most likely people use it to trim ditches most often, and to do stuff around ponds and stuff like that. Just because it's not very, it'll get bunged up pretty quickly. If I was going this fast in real life, I think it would probably get bunged up a little bit, but it's not in real life. So 13 liters of fuel left. I'll have to keep that in mind. So I actually could probably leave time going quickly in this game, but I'm not going to. I'll slow down time for the time being, because now I have two fields of canola, which is nice. So we'll have lots of canola ready to go, and then next time around I'll plant one as probably wheat, because I can use wheat for the chickens, I should say, and also for the pigs, which will be good. Barley is only for one, not for both, unfortunately. But I think barley does grow a bit faster than wheat on this particular map. So, and then what I'll do with this grass is I'll feed the pigs with it, which will be good. I guess no, I can't feed the pigs with this. Sugar beet, silage, yeah, no. I'll feed the sheep with this, and I'll buy a few sheep. So let's just do that right now, actually, before I forget. So sheep are what, 200 a piece? Yes. So let's buy, let's say, we're still good, 30 sheep. So then I produce a little bit of wool, but not too much. But that also means I need a front loader now, now that I think about it. Damn, forgot about that. Ah well, that's life. I'll have to figure that out. So that front loader I started off, actually probably wouldn't have worked anyways because it's not the right style. But maybe by the time they produce enough wool, I'll have enough money to buy something. The Bobcat did come on sale for a while there, but I didn't have enough money and I didn't have any particular use for it yet. But it looks like I will soon. 20% worth of liquid manure in my pig barn. That's quite a bit of liquid manure. Like I said at the start, oops, that was bad. Like I said at the start, those pigs produce a crazy amount of liquid manure, which is good for us. And they don't cost very much, I guess. As long as there's some sort of productivity, they'll produce. But if there's no productivity at all, they won't produce any liquid manure, I discovered. So you can just feed them water, actually, and then that'll be enough to keep them producing liquid manure, which is kind of interesting, actually. I don't think they produce a lot of liquid manure in that situation, but they do produce a little bit, so. But I have more than enough manure and liquid manure right now, so we are fine. But the chickens, if I add some wheat, if I give them wheat and I give them water, they produce at 110%. Their productivity is 110%, which is good. That's interesting. They produce at 110%, which is nice. Then it's easy to pick up eggs. And wow, I'm using a lot of fuel. I'm actually gonna have to stop probably and go get some fuel for this thing. Jeez. I don't know where I was going. Yeah, the chickens produce quite a bit of eggs, so, and they sell relatively well on this map, which is nice. So I think they don't cost a whole lot to keep them productive, so that's a nice plus about the chickens. And what I will do is I will probably use some of this grass to feed the cows as well once I get a couple cows. I had one cow initially, and then I sold that one cow because I wanted the money. And now I want to buy a few cows again, just so I can get some milk every now and then, which will be good. And that'll be better than the sheep by a long shot, or the pigs by a long shot at least. Okay, I need to get some fuel. Jeez, this is crazy. This thing uses a ton of fuel, apparently. That's what I get for buying an old tractor, I guess. Jeez. Am I gonna make it to the fuel? Oh man, I should be able. Okay. But yeah, pigs are productivity at 31%. It's not too bad. All I have is I have some wheat and some water, and that's it. If I start producing wheat on a regular basis, I'll be able to give them some straw as well. Although there's already 100% of manure, so that's probably no point in this time. One step at a time. 1 liter of fuel left. We can get there in time. That's gonna suck if we stop just before it. Perfect. Here we go. Oops. Doesn't cost very much to fill up this tractor. Just nice. But it burns through fuel. Burns through fuel pretty quickly, apparently. So. That's the way it goes. But I could actually probably could have got the old school tractor, the vintage tractor, to do what I'm doing right now, because I'm just using a sickle bar mower. Because actually, one of the nice things about sickle bar mowers is they don't require a whole lot of horsepower, so you can get away with using a tractor that is not as powerful as like this one's got 65 horsepower, and I actually don't even need that for the sickle bar mower. Like, I think in real life, all you need is something like, I think it's like 20 horsepower or something. It's not very much at all, which is kind of interesting. All right, where did I leave off? There it is. Do a little UE here. So I probably won't. Now that I've done this once, I probably won't do it every single time on camera. But I wanted to show you what it was like just once at least. Turn it on. Back in the cab. Yeah, so I just want to show you guys once, see what it's like, and then I'll pick up the grass. No, I probably won't pick up all of it, just because it's going to be annoying because it's not windrowed or anything. That's one of the advantages of using one of the auto swathers, but I didn't have enough money for those. One of the ones I like is that has an auto swather on the back, so you don't have to. It's basically puts it into rows for the most part, so which is kind of nice. But you do save money by using this. Well, you save money by buying, I should say, a sickle bar mower. But this is what you deal with. It's all over the place. But that's okay for now. So we probably need to buy a windrower as well. And I'll have to take a look at the windrowers. Actually, what I could do is there is a rake which acts as a windrower as well, which I know is cheap. But I could do this as well. I could do 2 jobs in one, so I could rake and windrow. So if I wanted to do bales with it, I could, but I probably won't do bales with this small a field. Not with a regular baler, at least. We'll see. I actually don't have a tractor that's powerful enough. Oh, well, I guess I could use the Ford. Would be powerful enough to use the baler in game. I know there's a McHale baler I have from a mod, but I don't know if that one is. I don't know what the horsepower requirement is on that. I think the smaller balers probably around 50 to 90, so I probably do have enough for that. But then I need to get, again, front loader. And then a trailer that can hold bales. So it creates a whole another issue if I do it that way. But if I use the windrower that changes it into hay or dries the hay out as well, then it's the option. Sweet, look at that. Almost done here. Yeah. The funny thing is there's an old rake from the vintage pack, which is pretty nice. Here, I'll just show you it quickly in the shop. It's not animals, not placeable. It is harvester, potato harvester, beets, tippers, sowing machines. Where are you? So I could get this one, but I don't know. I don't think this one works with grass. I think it only works with dried hay, which is kind of unfortunate. And I can't afford these. That's a more realistic pack. And that one, I could afford this one, I guess. But that's a tedder, and I don't need a tedder. So this is actually a rake, and it actually teds the grass as well, which is kind of nice. So, in order to save myself time of driving around the field like a ridiculous madman, I might just buy that. Because if I use my forge wagon and try and pick that all up, it's going to be ridiculous. Too much driving. I'll cut my driving in half at least by using the rake. So yeah, actually I'm going to buy that right now. I'm just going to use this. I'm going to buy that. Get them to deliver it, so to speak. And then what I'll do is once I finish this, I will use Courseplay to start the raking, and then I can use the loading the forge wagon to pick up the grass. And funny enough, I actually do have quite a bit of straw sitting in a bunker that I can't get out right now. So I may, in the near future, have to buy a conveyor belt or a loader or something that can pick the straw out of the bunker, but it's kind of funny. Excuse me. Oh, wow. Almost done here. I could have used Courseplay to do this too, but for now I'm just going to do it manually, and then next time I'm probably going to use Courseplay as I'm doing something else, just because I am not doing as good a job as Courseplay would, and it's not too bad actually, because it's a small field. If it was a big field it'd be really boring, but it's not too bad because it's a small field and it finishes up quickly. Nice. One of the nice things about this tractor actually, it has an open back, so you can just look straight down and see what you're doing. So if I was in real life, I'd be able to look straight back here and just be like, hey, am I going in the right spot? And you can actually kind of see where you're going. In this situation, I'm just using my front tire over there just to get an idea as to where I'm going. Which is, I guess, one of the ways you could do it. You can do other ways, I guess, but that's the way I'm doing it for now. I know last time I was baling hay in the summer, I didn't do very much baling, and I was doing a poor job at it just because the tractor I was using I wasn't very good at using. The steering was a bit funny. It was an older tractor that the in-laws bought and repaired. So, all right, that's it. There's a little spot there apparently that that didn't get done, but that's fine. Where can I put this? Actually, there's another shed over here. I'll put it in. Right beside, actually in the second bay here. Put it right here. There we go. And let's go pick up the rake. And what I'm gonna do is, that's, what field is that? 10. So what I'll do is I'll pull up the outline of 10 that we made, and I believe the rake is, I want to say it's 2 meters maybe. So let's say it's 2 meters. 2.5. Let's see how that goes. We might need to change it. Actually, let's do 3. 3 would be a nice number if it was 3. And then southwest corner, yes, that's good. And we'll do a headland after generate course. And because we're using a rake, what I would need to change it to is I need to change it to the field mode, and then go pick up this rake. Actually, a pretty cool little rake. I actually did a little video on on learning how to do hay in Farming Simulator, but with a real life twist on it, I guess. So I'll show you how this works. Actually, it's kind of interesting. In real life, so this is an older style rake. So the way it works is you actually have to engage. The tires actually drive the rake itself. So if I remember correctly, you have to turn one of these, and well, one of them is to raise and lower the rake itself, and the other one's to adjust the angle a little bit. But the way it works is as you drive along, the tires actually propel the rake, and you need to engage that. So I think that's just B, yeah. So set them at the first point here, and I'll set them at a nice speed of let's say 10 miles an hour should be good. And let's just see how this works. Back up a little bit here. Oh, it looks like 3 meters was the good little guess. Sweet. So he's gonna go ahead and do that. Technically it's turned into hay now. That's fine. Our forage wagon will still pick it up. So let's just tab to that now. I'll wait till he does one pass there. And I'll get told if he is low on fuel as well. Which I'm sure he'll get low on fuel. Yeah, I'll wait for him to come back first, actually. Or else I'm going to be in his way. See, puts it into a nice little row for me, so I don't have to worry about that, which is nice. Oh, okay, that's because of the headland at the end. Gotcha. Wow, good. Looks like it's good. Alright, let's hop back in the forage wagon and get going. Turn on my forage wagon here. Actually, I'm going to go not in the in-cab view because I will most definitely screw it up if I don't go in this view. I think I'm going to go a bit faster, so I'm going to go into first gear just so I don't catch up to him, which I already have basically, but got a nice little collection of grass now, so this will be good to feed our sheep, which is going to be nice. Oh, he just sped up there like crazy. Whoa, that's a lot of bushes. Yeah, this will give us a chance to feed our sheep, which is good, so they can produce some wool. I actually don't even know where to sell the wool in this map yet. Ooh, that's something I need to look at. Yeah, that's going to be a bit strange, actually. And one of the problems I'm going to run into, again, with this particular field is that wall right there. I'm never going to win against that wall. Ever. It's always going to be the same thing. Do a little Yui here. I'll wait for him to come back because I want to get in his way. I thought maybe that if I had him do the headland after, it'd be fine. Apparently not. He'll probably be fine without doing a headland at all, but whatever. Perfect. Almost there. Come on, hurry up. I guess I could go down to the other side. Let's go down to the other side here. So I can pick up this. Hopefully that didn't take a whole strip out of the field. It looks like it did actually, but I think it just grows back. That'd be a little annoying actually. Have little strips in the field. Ugh. Be a pain to try and fix. Perfect. Looks like he's starting on his way back. Again, I'll go nice and slow here so he has a chance to get ahead of me basically. I set him at, I think 10 miles an hour, not kilometers, 10 miles an hour, so he should, I'm going just below that, so he should be ahead of me the whole time basically. Almost full here, well almost full, almost halfway full, I guess this is what I mean. 50%, which is good. And what I'll do actually is I'll just go feed this to the sheep, It might be more than they actually need, which is going to be kind of funny, actually. And if it is, that means I need to deposit it in one of the bunkers that we have available to us, or horizontal silo, whatever you want to call it. So this is where we feed our sheep, and that's where the wool is. So let's see how much they actually need here. Oops. Yeah, they're not going to need that much. That's what I thought. Well, they're good for now at least. I'll have to feed them some water in a bit, and because I have a humongous trailer now for water, I'm going to need to use the other tractor for that. But I'll do that in a bit. So here's my grass bunker here, so I'm just going to back up right into this bunker, so grass slash hay. Perfect. And I could use a front loader to pick up that, but I'm not going to. What I'll do is I'll use a conveyor belt and probably a bobcat, because I don't like using front loaders, as I've mentioned before. Hopefully the other tractor isn't stuck against the wall, which I'm sure he is. That's what I thought. Again, disadvantage of the wall. And what we'll do is I'll change it to the nearest point. And nope, apparently he's not going to do it that way. How's he going to do it? He's going to drive up the wall. How about you don't drive up the wall? That'd be nicer. Alright, let's get him on his way again. Turn the rake off for a second here. Actually, I'll set him on the other side. I don't know where he's supposed to be going. I think he's actually supposed to be going... Oh no, he's supposed to be going this way. At least I got a couple windrows done, so then I can come back and pick that up from him. So what I can do is I'm going to start him on. I'm going to turn around here. Turn the rake on. And start down his way here. There you go, perfect. He'll probably get stuck in the wall again, but that's fine. Good. Let's set it to cruise control speed number 1, and then pick up some more hay. Doesn't really matter in this situation because I can pick up dried hay or wet hay in this case. So it's just funny how that works out. But having that tedder slash rake in this game makes a big difference, because then I'll have to drive like a madman all over the field, which is nice. Eventually, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this field. The wall really bothers me right there. But I suppose that's real life, I guess. The pigs actually don't need... Oh, he's stuck again. The pigs actually don't need grass. They need silage. So I could put this straight into a bunker, actually. This might be a better idea. He's stuck again. Too much wall. Get him going again. Nearest. There we go. Oops. Get this going, and then yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll put it in a bunker because this, well, the cows are going to eventually need silage as well. So I'll pick up this and I'll put it in a bunker over by the cows, so we can make some silage. Almost done. That tractor's gonna get stuck once again, unfortunately. I'll have to adjust that. Could do it personally, but it's nice to be able to do two things at once. Right now I got 2 fields of canola growing, so nothing else I can really do with the other tractor. In the real world, you probably wouldn't want to have 2 fields of canola because it's not really diversifying your crops. Come over here and help this guy out. He likes to run into walls. yeah, you wouldn't want to do this in real life or have two fields of the same thing in real life because, first of all, you'll basically increase the pressure of the bugs and the weeds. So what will happen is, in a real life situation, if you were to plant the same thing too many times in the same field, you will run into the problem of the weeds will become really, really ridiculous in that field because, because there is a specific type of plant that's been growing there. So they'll get really bad for that particular type of plant. So the idea behind crop rotation actually is the fact that it actually helps reduce what they call weed pressure. So that's how many weeds show up in your field, and also for pest control as well. So by having changing, I should say, your crops to different things is actually as good, because what happens is the bugs don't get used to it, neither do the weeds, so you can help reduce the amount of pesticides or insecticides you have to use, as well as reduce the amount of herbicides you have to use on your field, which is really nice because that helps the environment and whatnot. So if you can reduce that in natural ways by rotating your fields to different things, that's fantastic. So for example, a good combination for a rotation would be something like you could do hay for a couple years in the same field, and that would be okay, because hay actually grows. It actually regrows the next year without having to replant it, which is nice. And then the other thing you could do, so you could do hay, wheat, and I think soybeans would be a combination, like a 3-crop rotation. And you could throw in something else in there too, probably, but that's something you hear a lot of. Why is it doing that? That's weird. Anyways, so that's a possible crop rotation you could use for a field. It'd be like I said, wheat, soybeans. Why do I keep pulling it up? I don't know. Wheat, soybeans, and hay. That could be a combination, for example. I'm not an expert in crop rotation by any means. I did write something about it on one of my blogs, but I have a bad memory, so I have to research these things quite often to refresh my memory. That's why I had that in a conversation about silage, because I knew a bit about it from this game and from other things in real life, but the only real way to remember it is, you know, have a talk with somebody who knows something about it, and to talk about it every single day. And I don't talk about silage every day, so that's part of the problem as well. Almost done raking. I'm just going to stay with that guy because he's going to do the same thing again. Yeah, like I said, I don't talk about silage every day or hay every day. So it's hard to keep that stuff in mind. It's like anything. The more you practice, the more you practice on anything, the better you remember it and better you know how to use it and all that jazz. So perfect. He's doing his last strip there. No, he's not. I guess he's going to do that headland, but I'm just going to stop him after that because I think he's going to mess up his headland pretty bad. Let's see. Let's just see what he does. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. He's collecting some of the stuff he missed, which is good, actually. But now he's leaving little blobs all over the place. Apparently there's little bits laying around the field. I'm just going to stop him. He's wasting fuel at that point. Oh, I'll stop now. Yeah, don't know what I was saying. Ah, yes. So if you use a good crop rotation, it actually helps quite a bit to help reduce the pests. So, for example, insects and whatnot, and weeds as well. So that's one of the reasons why people do crop rotations. Some people don't do a very good rotation. Some people do a great rotation. It just depends. Like if you're trying to do an organic farm, for example, like using crop rotations. Another thing they do in organic farms actually is they will plant specific plants beside each other. So what happens is, like, let's say they plant, I think it's garlic. Garlic will repel certain insects. So by using garlic beside, I don't know, I can't think what else. By their plants, I've actually reduced the amount of insects because insects don't like the smell of garlic, which is kind of interesting actually. Last row here, and I'll try and clean up the end there a little bit. So we got about, I don't know, what was it? We filled up halfway before. So almost, looks like about 13 if I were to pick this up. Probably around 13,000 or 14,000 or something like that. It's not too bad, I guess. Could be a lot better, but could be a lot worse as well. So I'm just going to do a little dance around here and try and pick up the last little bits here. That's good enough. I'm sure I'll go out back there again. One more. Last one, I swear. There we go. Okay, so let's go drop this off in a silo. Or a bunker, I should say. Turn the pickup off, and then we'll drop this off in the bunker close to the cows. I could actually put it in the cow trough too, but it's fine. Actually, I could actually get a... I could do that too, I suppose. Because there is a placeable mods. The sheep breeding facility. So they just need milk, which I don't have any yet. That's not very helpful. But they only need 3 days, which isn't very long. It's the same amount of time the chickens need. The cat. Why is it? I don't know. They just need milk, and if you give them straw as well, actually, if I remember correctly, yeah. Half the time can be delivered by additional straw. If one has no milk available, straw can also be unloaded. Oh, okay, so I can use straw instead. So maybe I'll get that. And maybe that's what I'll use that field for down there. Because I don't like harvesting that field very much. But for now, I'll put this in the bunker. I'm not going to put it in there. Put it in the bunker. That's my manure for the cows. That's the bunker for my silage. I haven't gotten to the biogas stuff yet. It's not my thing. I don't enjoy that too much. Not without big equipment, at least. I don't have. So basically, what I would do is, if I were to do the biogas, I would probably just course play it all out, basically, because I don't like doing all that. How full is this? 2%, 3% from that. Doesn't take very much. I'm gonna stop that guy there, and I'm gonna move this guy back because I don't want him in the middle of the field. And I'll just leave him with the rake for the time being. Oh, actually, I can change him out and give him this. Well, put it by the sickle bar more, I guess. And I'll put him back, and then I'll speed up time. And what I'll do probably actually is I may what I may do actually, now that I think about it, is I may buy that sheep breeding facility. I don't know. Maybe not. It's expensive. So I might buy some cows first, actually. Just a few cows. And then I give them a few things. So I'm going to stop this guy here, let him sit there. Doesn't burn off my precious fuel. And what I'll think I'll do is I'll stop the episode here for now, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll get a nice view of the Newbie Farm. Is that tractor still on? Oh, good. And we'll stop it here for now, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll catch you on the flip side. So what I'm going to do off camera probably before I go. Off camera, probably going to buy a few cows. I'll harvest that canola. And then I'll buy a few cows with that money I got from the canola, and then we'll go from there. Anyways, my name's Ian Robson once again. Talk to you guys later.